What's up everyone, Coach Jacob here, and on this video we're going to discuss the number system in soccer. So what position do you play with the number? If coach says go play the 7, where's that? If coach says go play the 6, you have an idea of where you want to be and what your role and responsibility is. Because at the end of the day, like I always say, there's 11 different minds on the field, so these little things of understanding at least the idea of where you should be are certainly going to help when you go onto the field with organization, communication, and all the other important feats that we want to see in order to have success on the field. So when I first realized how important the number system was my first year being paid to coach. And that was in Louisville, Kentucky, when I was the coach of an immigrant and refugee school. And I had over 20 players from all over the world that had just pretty much come to the country within the last month. And within that group, there was over 8 to 10 different languages. So even amongst the players, they couldn't communicate very well. And none of them spoke English, and the very few that spoke English was very basic English. So at least we had some help translating a little bit, but it was very difficult. So when trying to teach them how to play soccer and putting a formation on the field, it becomes very difficult when you say you're going to play holding mid, or you're going to play attacking forward, right? Or when you put these American words that you've learned growing up onto the positions, it becomes difficult for players to know where they should be when they're not from America. They don't speak English. So this became really important. I was able to say, hey, you're playing the 7. And although the position of the 7 may be different depending on the formation and style of play, everybody knows it's on the right side of the field and you're the winger on the outside. So whether you're higher up the pitch or lower, it doesn't make a difference because at least we know you're on the right side. So half the battle is getting a position to where you should be. So it truly was very important, and that's where I truly grasped the importance of having a number system and utilizing it so that the players can understand where they should be, and we took a level of organization from that. So that is my story. Now let's talk about where the numbers are so we can learn the system. Okay, this is my makeshift board. I have a glass desk, so all I did was place a hand-drawn picture underneath my desk so I can draw on the top and use it as like a dry erase board. But it helps nonetheless, it'll work. So in the formation, we always start with the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper is the number 1 position. Oftentimes when you watch a professional game, the goalie is in the number 1. Okay, so that's easy. That's the easiest part. Then moving right to left, we have the outside right position is the number 2. The outside left position is the number 3. Okay, in the center backs are 4 and 5. These are interchangeable. This is how it's drawn up. But, you know, if coach says go play the 5 and go play the 4, you can pretty much communicate who wants to be on either side. Not that big of a difference. The 6 is going to be our holding mid. Okay, so they'll be sitting on top of the 4 and 5 in the attack. Okay, we have our 7 on the outside right position, our 11 on the outside left position. And a good way to remember the difference between these is 11 has an L, it's on the left side, okay? Then we have the 8 as like a true center mid, typically. Will always be, no matter what formation, the 8 will be more like a true center mid, okay? The 10 can be the attacking center mid, and then the 9 is the forward. And what you'll notice in this formation, I have a variation of a 1-4-5-1 formation. So a 4-5-1. And essentially, this is just a very basic starting formation so players can understand that formation. Now, as the formation changes, you know, maybe the 10 becomes a second forward, right? Maybe we push our 7 and 11 up as a 4-3-3 and don't play the wide players back as far. But this is at least you understand where you should be on the field. So for the younger players that don't play 11v11, this is just a simple mock-up of a 7v7 formation. May not be the one your coach plays, but all you're doing is removing numbers from the field. So 1 remains the goalkeeper, 2 outside right, 4 center back, 3 outside left, and this would be a 1-3-2-1 formation. We have our 6, our holding mid, 8, our true center mid, and then 9, our forward. Now, again, this is just a mock-up. You may not stack your center mids. You may want them side by side. You may not want to play 3 in the back. But we're getting the understanding of where those numbers are always correlating to a position on the field, okay, or an area on the field, okay? What you may have noticed in my drawing is I always start with the goalkeeper as number 1. The true way to say a formation is you start with your goalkeeper and move your way up the field. So the goalkeeper is the 1. If you're playing a back 4, you go 4. If you're playing 3 in the midfield, 3, and then 3 forwards. A 1, 4, 3, 3 is how you would say that formation. So you always start from the back, work your way forward up the field. Now you may be asking, well, this doesn't make any sense, right? Why is it 2, 4, 5, 3, 6? Why is the 9 all the way up there? And it really just starts from the history of the game. And originally, there was only 2 defenders. It was very forward numbers. We wanted to push numbers forward. So it originally worked from right to left, starting from the back, moving forward. 1, 2, 3, then you're 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, right? So you'd move forward up the field. And as the sport has adapted and players moved into new areas of the field, it has just adapted with it. So I hope that video helped explain maybe why or where the numbers are. So when coach says go play the 6, you have an idea of where the 6 should be. And for those that don't play 11v11 yet, you have an idea of what's coming, okay? And understanding that if you know the numbers early, it makes it a lot easier when you hit 11v11 and understand the positions. Now, there's nothing wrong with saying you're playing holding mid. And oftentimes a lot of coaches will say that. But if you can get into the understanding of the number system and why that is the way it is, when you go on to play at the next level or play with a different group of players, you have a common idea of where to play. You know, some teams may not play with the true holding mid, but at least if you know you're a 6, you know that you should be in that area underneath the 8, right? So hopefully that helps. Something I want you guys to think about is how many of your professional players that you like to follow wear the number of the position of their shirt. Now, it's not as common as it used to be. Originally, you wore the number of the position you played, but with a lot more young players coming, a lot more games, there's been a lot more interchange, and some players still use it. So think about it. Cristiano Ronaldo wears the number 7. Where'd he like to play and have all his success? He comes out from the outside positions and likes to make runs across or cross balls in, okay? Think of Leo Messi, right? He likes to play that 10 position, so he has that space to attack and dribble from the attacking midfield position. And then Sergio Ramos, center back for Real Madrid. He wears the number 4, and he's a center back. So next time you watch a game, think about the positions and look to see if the professional players on the field are wearing the number of the position that they are playing. That's all for today's video. Hope you guys learned something and had some fun. We'll be doing more of these, and I think next we're going to do the difference between a flat back 4 and sweeper stopper. So stay tuned.